let us discuss some important questions for prelims. Vajra scheme. Vajra scheme. Visiting advanced joint research faculty. Visiting advanced joint research faculty. VAJRA. Vajra scheme. The Science and Engineering Research Board. The Science and Engineering Research Board, a statutory body under Department of Science and Technology, has recently launched Visiting Advanced Joint Research Faculty Vajra scheme to connect the Indian academics and research and development to the best global universities and professionals. The scientists and particularly best global science and scientists for a sustained international collaborative research, this Vajra scheme was launched. The scheme offers visiting faculty assignments to overseas scientists, faculty to reach high quality collaborative research in various fields, and overseas Indian professionals, NRIs and other topmost professionals throughout the world will be invited as visiting faculties to the India to contribute to the various researches, so that Indian students will get exposure to the global level of science and technological developments and global level research advancements and professional qualities. And in this Vajra scheme, the professionals who come to India as visiting faculties will be paid with a decent salary, particularly US $10,000 each, and first month $15,000, and this will be for betterment of science and technology, particularly academic research and quality research in India. This is Vajra scheme, and sufficient funds were earmarked to Vajra scheme from overall budget allocation to SCRB, Science and Engineering Research Board. This year 800 crores of fund was allocated. 800 crores of fund was allocated. The scheme was launched on pilot basis recently for 3 to 4 years to target enrollment of 50 to 75 Vajra faculty per year. This year 260 applications have come for Vajra faculty. 260 applicants were there for Vajra faculty. This is called Vajra scheme. We have to remember this: visiting advanced joint research faculty throughout the world to the Indian universities, and they will be paid adequate salary. Scheme for protection and preservation of endangered languages in India. Scheme for protection and preservation of endangered languages in India. In this scheme, languages of India spoken by less than 10,000 people. Any language which is spoken by less than 10,000 persons will be considered. They will be protected and preserved and documented by Central Institute of Indian Languages. The languages which were spoken by less than 10,000 speakers will be protected and preserved under this scheme. And Central Institute of Indian Languages will document and preserve and protect these languages. The University Grant Commission have identified some guidelines and prepared some guidelines and identified around 7 universities to protect these languages, and earmarked 5,000 crore fund to preserve these languages. And Central Institute of Indian Languages is an Indian research and training institute, teaching institute based in Mysore. Central Institute of Indian Languages. The Central Institute of Indian Languages have 7 regional centers. It have 7 regional centers. Recently we have 2 languages. One is Valmiki, second is Malhar. These 2 languages are considered as endangered languages in India, and these 2 languages are spoken in Andhra Pradesh and Orissa. Both the languages are spoken in Andhra Pradesh and Orissa. Valmiki and Malhar languages by very few speakers, and they are considered as endangered languages. Missing languages is a serious cause of concern in India, because India is a land of diversity and it has various dialects inside the languages, and protecting each dialect is a part of Article 29 of the Indian Constitution, which says any section of citizens residing in any part of the country having distinct language, script or culture shall have the right to conserve the same. We have the fundamental right to conserve our script and language according to Article 29 of the Indian Constitution. Next important current affairs and prelims potential question is Sampada Scheme. SAMPADA, Sampada Scheme. The Government of India have approved central sector scheme Pradhana Mantri Kisan Sampada Yojana. Pradhana Mantri Kisan Sampada Yojana. Scheme for agro-marine processing and development of agro-processing clusters. Scheme for agro-marine processing and development of agro-processing clusters with an allocation of 6,000 crores for the period of 2016 to 20. For Sampada scheme, the allocation is 6,000 crores. The period was 2006 to 2020, and this period is coterminous with the 14th Finance Commission time frame. This 2016 to 2020, it was coterminous with 14th Finance Commission time frame. This scheme comes under Sampada scheme comes under the Ministry of Food Processing Industries. Ministry of Food Processing Industries. Sampada scheme comes under the Ministry of Food Processing Industries. Pradhan Mantri Sampada Kisan Sampada Yojana is a comprehensive package to the creation of modern infrastructure for food processing with efficient supply chain management from farm gate to the outlet. From farm gate to the outlet, supply chain management is the focus. Many schemes were submerged into the many programs comes under Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sampada scheme, particularly food parks, mega food park scheme, integrated cold chain and value added infrastructure, creation expansion of food processing and preservation capacities, infrastructure for agro processing clusters, creation of backward and forward linkages, food safety and quality assurance infrastructure, human resources and institutions, etc. All these programs comes under Pradhan Mantri Sampada scheme. Sampada scheme is very important for this year exam. Next important news for prelims is NASA tests flexible solar array on space station. NASA tests flexible solar array on space station, also called as ROSA, R-O-S-A, rolling out of solar array. This is ROSA. What is this ROSA? This is important. For future space crafts, satellites and other space missions, we need their energy that will come through solar energy. That is the major aim of ROSA, and NASA is experimenting with this, and if ROSA is successful, definitely in future it will help our satellites and other spacecrafts so that we can have better space endeavors in future. This is the object of ROSA. NASA is testing for the first time the effectiveness of a flexible solar array on space station that could power satellites and spacecrafts. This ROSA will power satellites and spacecrafts if at all it is successful. The rollout solar array or ROSA, an advanced flexible solar array that will help in powering the space stations in future. This is very important. Traditional solar panels were used to power satellites, which were bulky and heavy, and it is very difficult to launch through launching vehicles. That is the reason why we have heavyweight satellites. So if you have ROSA successful, the weight of the satellite, the weight of this satellite launching, it will be very easy, so that we can have solar power to help the spacecrafts and satellites. They can power the spacecrafts and satellites. And next important news for prelims this year is Falcon 9 is a rocket which belongs to SpaceX, a private space agency. Falcon 9 is a rocket which belongs to SpaceX, a private space agency. And yesterday there is a news that NASA's TESS, TESS. TESS is a satellite to hunt for new planets in the universe. TESS is a satellite, transit exoplanet satellite, which try to hunt for the new satellites, new planets in the universe. NASA's TESS is being launched through Falcon 9 rocket. yesterday there is a delay of Falcon 9. That's the reason why it was in news. You make a direct question, Falcon 9 belongs to SpaceX or TESS, the object of TESS. TESS is to hunt for exoplanets. This is a very important question for prelims.